Gary Neville, he's always going on about Man United and other clubs actually, how, the ownership is this and the ownership is that, the managers are rubbish, they're not doing this properly and that. Well, Gary Neville, it's great. As a player, you're a good player, there's no doubt about it, and you understand, football and tactics, understand that. But when it comes to managing and owning a club, how much do you know about that? You keep knocking everyone else. But you yourself, your stats were terrible as a manager, and you yourself have basically admitted that. You were awful as a manager. Mate, only the excuses, but you've never gone and tried to do it again because you had poor results. It didn't work for you. But you are always knocking others. Your ownership. It's great to take over your home club, Salford. 2014, 4 promotions literally on the bounce. Up to 2018, you got them into the league. And then you're hitting where, let's call it the professionals, the big boys. Now let's compare you, mate. You understand football. You've been in the game all your life. You had a big Asian sponsor with you owning the club. Not just the class of 92, but a guy called, is it Peter Lim, who's a multi-billionaire. So you had the backing. You had Netflix. You had the spotlight, which Nicky Butt said, we need the spotlight on us. So you had that. You had it, Netflix do a whole thing on you. Everything was right for you. But what have you done? Since 2018-19 season, you've actually gone nowhere. You nearly got relegated last season. You've not done really well. Your financial accounts, my understanding last year or this year, are showing something like a £4 million loss. You got the greatest facilities. You rent your training facilities from Man United. You train at Cliff, where you, as the 92 indoor training, used to train. So you can't complain about your facilities not being great. And you got the experience. Now you've got David Beckham coming in. So don't tell me that's not going to help with the finances and actually with, this, you need to be in the spotlight. Let's compare you to Wrexham down the road, who only in 2020, an American guy came in. And don't tell me, he had all the money, he had all the spotlight. You had Peter Lim, you had all the class of 92, okay? He came in 2020 and he's taken Wrexham, in what, 5 seasons? 5 seasons, or is it 6? 5, 6 seasons. It's 5. He's taken them up to the Championship. Here's a guy who knows nothing about football. So, Gary Neville, what's going wrong? How come Reynolds, with his input, which is financial, and you with your input, which is financial, experience, football knowledge, backing of Man United, okay, helping you, as it has. If you listen to the Accrington Stanley manager in, I think it was, can't remember what year it was, he turned around and said you were stealing the league from other teams. Why? Because you had the money to go and buy, loads of players. Something is wrong, and maybe it's your fault, Gary Neville. Maybe it's you keep swapping the managers because you're not giving them enough time. You're just putting too much pressure on them. You want to win, and then you kick them out if something goes wrong. I don't know. May not be the case. This is just my opinion. But when Reynolds comes in as a sort of a Northern League side in 2020, takes over, and now they're in the the EFL Championship. Why? Why the difference? When you're the guy with all the experience and you did have the financial backing, mate. You can make it as a film star, so what? You can't spend that much money, mate. Gary Neville, all the chat, everyone else is so poor and you're so good, but you've failed as a manager, you're failing as an owner. That's how I see it. I'd like to hear, this isn't knocking you, not Man United. This is saying, Gary Neville, butt up. What did Nicky Butt say? We want to be a working class football team with working class ethics or something like that. Well, that was just crap, what you're saying. That's just to get everybody in, oh, yeah. No, it's not. Because actually, when you listen to, I can't remember the reporter's name, from a local reporter, Stephen something, in the local press, he actually is saying your arrogance, there's arrogance within the club. And that's a local bloke. Even Stockport County, who are local to you, are now doing better than you, I believe. So, something's going wrong, Gary. And I think you should look inwards and think, instead of knocking everyone else's ownership, knocking Man United all the time, you look internally and say, well, what can you do? You had everything and you failed. Football Chat Uncensored, Reno talking. Be nice to hear some Man United, I suppose, supporters saying why they feel is always knocking you. There you go.